I think before working with Pivot, I thought financial advice was for people who had a lot of money and, pretty stuffy suits and ties and, talking about, that kind of high net worth kind of stuff. I didn't think that financial advice is something that would be all that relevant for, people in our position.
I had no idea what financial advice was. I thought it was something that my parents had to do before you retire. And so it's completely opened my eyes to the fact that you can start at any age really, and it's never too soon.
I think good financial advice takes into account what you want to get out of your life and out of your money. I think one of the things that was really good is that we told you what we wanted to do, what kind of lifestyle we wanted to have, and then you kind of worked backwards from that and gave us a plan that was based on that. So I think good financial advice is only going to work if it's something that you're actually invested in and you're going to stick to.
I think good financial advice is financial advice that works for you and for your financial situation and for your wants and needs. So it's about not just planning short term but long term as well, and understanding how your money can work for you as opposed to always having to work for your money.
Yeah, I remember going to see someone else that was recommended to me by a colleague, and I went to him asking for some financial advice. I wanted to buy a property or start making preparations to buy a property, and he said, "How much money do you have in the bank?" And I told him, and he said, "Come back and see me when you have $100,000. And I thought, how am I ever going to get there? So that was my first ever experience with financial advice. So I was a little gun shy from there. It took me a couple of years before I even thought about it again. And it wasn't until another colleague of mine recommended Pivot that I realised that it probably could be different. So financial advice for me now is teamwork. So it's a collaborative approach to managing our money and our finances and thinking about what our future can look like. And it doesn't have to be set in stone. It doesn't have to be locked away for the rest of eternity. It's ever evolving and changing based on life circumstances. And our life has changed significantly in the last 3 years, all for the better. And Pivot's been on the journey with us the whole way.
I thought that financial advice was, largely speaking, someone who would probably shove a bunch of opportunities down my throat where their financial interests were at heart and not my financial interests were at heart. Now, my opinion of what good financial advice is working with someone trusted that assesses your situation and your needs and looks out for the light beyond the trees that you can't see, and helps you make informed decisions around your finances to, I guess, essentially not have to think about your finances too much, which is ironic. But for me, that's been quite liberating.
I kind of thought that financial advice would be something that you get from this guy in a suit working for a bank, getting kickbacks from whatever different companies to push certain products on to us. And so that was always a bit of a turn off for me. I think I'd seen my family see financial advisors, and it never really seemed like something that would gel with me. But yeah, that was obviously a little bit different to the Pivot approach. Your approach, or Pivot's approach, is very much encouraging us to be a part of the process and for us to make these decisions. And you're really just empowering us with advice and knowledge so that we can make the best decisions for us. You never really push anything on us in particular, but we feel, I guess, so comfortable in terms of our day-to-day money, our long-term strategy, short-term strategy, insurance, everything. We feel like we've sort of got all of our life admin in order.
Before I met Ben, really, the very limited view I had on financial advice was insurance, on life insurance and different parts of my life, and my very limited interactions with financial planners before really seemed to be product pushing, and I saw that industry as predominantly a sales industry, not really one that had the best interests of their customers at heart. So really the difference is, and the way my opinion have changed the financial industry through Ben, is that really he's looked at what I want to achieve long term, what my lifestyle is now, and really just kind of set a balance in place. And I really feel that my interest is really what is concerned to him, and he actually really understands what my financial position is a lot better than what I ever really did. So for me, it's just given me comfort that I don't have to have those concerns anymore, and also I'm working with someone with integrity that I don't have to worry looking to actually push financial products on me.
But kind of what I thought it was someone who's connected to a bank who would sell me products, and I was really a bit hesitant about talking to a financial advisor because of that, and I think Pivot are just completely not that, so it's awesome. My view on financial advice has completely changed since working with Ben and Pivot. I think it feels much more accessible. It's not something that's scary. It's something that we certainly have a great deal of control over and input into, and I think that makes it feel like something that's very comfortable, and it's something that I understand a lot better too. So I think Ben's done an amazing job of kind of taking us on the journey and showing us how everything works, and it doesn't feel as inaccessible anymore. It's something that feels like something that we can do and that we have knowledge in that area, so it's great.
But I thought you had to have a lot of money to be able to get financial advice, to get where you had to invest and what you had to do. But I was also a bit sceptical because I thought that people were rewarded by other institutions and things, so I was a little bit sceptical in that space. What's changed for me from a financial advice perspective, it's just so personal to your own situation, and it's just helped us to make our goals realistic, which is much more exciting and helpful to change our life.
I think I thought financial advice was just very dry, always connected to a financial institution, so I didn't feel like I would ever really get a well-rounded view. It would just be advice based on what that financial institution wanted me to know or invest in. Financial advice to me is now just something that has really seamlessly slipped into my life. It's kind of like a little support system that just feels really natural, not forced, but really just helps me plan better for the future.
My idea of financial advice before I started working with Pivot is that it was something that only someone that had a big portfolio of investments or properties or something would seek, or a company would seek to help them organise their finances. Since I've started working with Ben and Pivot, I've understood that financial advice can be something applicable to a personal finances, and helping gain confidence around what to do with your own personal money. It doesn't have to be something gigantic. It can be simple solutions that just give you more confidence around money.